Here we go. Bam. Hey, everybody. We're live tonight on YouTube. Welcome back. Advocates for Justice Foreclosure Defense Paralegal School. We are different and we prove it. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Oh, wait, let me give myself a thumbs up because I'm sure I'm going to like what I have to say today. So, welcome. So, tonight we're going to talk about updates, and we're going to cover strategies that you should be using in our foreclosure defense lawsuit packages. And we're going to talk about some things that people are not doing that are costing them and making us have to work harder. We're going to update the new state court foreclosure defense lawsuit package. Yeah, I've been working on that now for actually over a year. We got a couple of people that have been using my new documents in the state court process. We're going to cover that. And last but not least, we're going to update you guys on the online course for property investors. So let's just jump right in. So the first thing I want to do is I want to review how to use non-judicial foreclosure defense lawsuit package um, that I have as one of my offers. Okay, so if you're already in eviction court, now this is mainly for non-judicial, but when it gets to the eviction part of a judicial foreclosure, then things are the same pretty much. So, but I like to keep it separated just to make sure people aren't getting confused because I have some people getting confused and some people are confused easy. So, so we got to kind of make sure we try and keep it simple so people can understand it. So, in the non-judicial foreclosure defense lawsuit package, we're going to start out with that one if you're already in eviction court, because that's the case for most people. Because in non-judicial, the whole non-judicial lawsuit scheme, um, fraudulent scheme, starts out with them sending you a notice of default letter. And then in the notice of default letter, they want you to pay all of this money plus this extra money for the attorney fees for the foreclosure and all that stuff that hasn't even happened yet. And the reason they send you that letter with the inflated fees is because they want to steal your hope and make you think that there's no way out. That's pretty much why they do that. That's why they do a lot of the stuff. And that's why they screw you around. And that's why they send you on a run around in court. And the clerk gives you a bunch of crap if they don't think you understand what you're talking about and all that. It's based on. So let's just get started. So when you purchase the package, the non-judicial foreclosure lawsuit defense package, and we're going to just assume that you're already in the eviction court. And one of the most important things before we get to that, one of the most important things I tell people call me all the time and they're so worried about stopping the sale. Oh, I need to do this in a hurry. I need to stop the sale. No, the main thing that you need to worry about more than stopping the sale is making sure that you have a strategy in your foreclosure defense program that's going to block the eviction process. You have to block the eviction process, and I'll tell you why. The sale can take place, okay? Before they kick you out of the house, they still got to go through the eviction process and do all of that. The sale can take place, and you can mess up the sale by filing your stuff in court and doing all of that. But here's the deal. If you don't have a plan for the eviction process, they're going to try ignoring what you're doing. This is what they do anyway, and we'll talk about that later, and try to get your butt evicted. If they can get you evicted, they know that there's a lot smaller chance that you're gonna have any fight left because you're gonna be busy trying to figure out where the hell you're gonna live and how you're gonna keep your family warm and all of that stuff that we have to worry about. Okay, that's what the deal is. So you want to make sure that you're doing all this right so you can keep yourself in charge of this. It's not stopping the sale. You have to stop the eviction. Now, with that said, if you have a good program to stop the eviction, you're obviously going to stop the sales too. Okay. Now, I like to make sure I tell people it this way because people need to understand when you're getting right down to the brass tacks of the situation, you need to make sure you're doing everything and getting what you need in place to stop the eviction process down the road. I know people tell me, I'm not in the eviction process. I'm not in it. Dude, just listen the hell up to what I'm telling you, okay? Because you will be soon, especially if you don't get this stuff right. So, with that said, the first thing you want to do is file your jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit in a state court case, okay? And when you do that, especially if you've added the attorneys to your document, that's number one defendant and the law firm as the second defendant and one servicer. We only you want to keep those down to 3 people. The more people you add, the more complicated it gets for you when it's time to answer and respond and do all that stuff. Now, a lot of times people get emotionally wrapped up in the servicer and all these people, okay? You want to make sure you put on your lawsuit underneath the case number or above the case number, somewhere over there on that side, that you reserve the right to amend. You can add anybody to the lawsuit as discovery would suggest, okay? But you want to keep it simple because when you keep it simple, what you do is you hold that one attorney responsible for everybody else's crimes. That's what you do. So you file your jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit in state court to mess up their case. And they can't respond by counter affidavit. So you need to have your default document and all the stuff ready that you need to have going next because they're not going to be able to respond. And this is what I tell people, they're not going to be able to respond, default them and move on. And I have some people who file a shit in court and they wait for the judge to respond. I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me right now. If you wait for the judge to respond, then the judge is going to assume you're giving him jurisdiction or her jurisdiction. They're going to stomp on your face and do whatever they can to prevent you from moving forward. And they don't like to give up. And I think the main reason is because they already split up the money. They already split up the money for stealing your house, and all they're doing now is just the loose ends and the paperwork and stuff. That's it. That's what I think, because they fight like hell to keep from giving you back your money. So once you get your jurisdictional challenge filed in state court to blow up their case, you want to also file your motion to moot all the pleadings that they file until they approve jurisdiction on the record. Okay. Now you get that filed. The next thing you want to do is you want to hurry up and get your title dispute filed in federal court. Your title dispute is your lawsuit. We refer to it as a title dispute because the title dispute trumps whatever is going on in eviction court. And I'll tell you why. In eviction court, the judge can only make a determination on immediate possession. And immediate possession cannot be determined until the title dispute's been settled. Now, if you have your lawsuit filed in your title dispute filed in federal court, then all you need to do is use federal court to control the state court process. Because like I said, the immediate possession cannot be determined until the title dispute's been settled. And that's why you have to hurry up and you have to get your federal lawsuit filed in federal court ASAP so that you can move the eviction process out of eviction court with your notice of removal and connect it to your title dispute. So you're going to take a file stamp copy of your jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit, a file stamp copy of the motion to moot, and you will add those as an exhibit A and exhibit B to the motion, to the notice of removal. Okay. And then you'll take the notice of removal and you'll file that in federal court. And they'll look at you and say, what the hell are you doing? We never had nobody do this before. But if you've done your homework, it won't be a problem because all you have to do is let them know, look, eviction process is immediate possession issue, and the immediate possession issue cannot be determined until the title dispute's been settled. The title dispute is filed in this court, and when the title dispute settled, there won't be a need for the immediate possession issue, because at the end of the day, you're going to use the evidence in your state court case, the fact that they failed to respond to your jurisdictional challenge. You will use that as evidence in your federal case. And, cut to the chase. What you want to do is just, once you get your lawsuit filed and everybody served, you can wait till they answer or whatever they're going to do. And then the next thing that you want to do is just move for summary judgment. Move for summary judgment in your federal title dispute, and you want to use all of the documents that you've been building up in state court, showing that they, didn't have jurisdiction or could not answer to your jurisdictional challenge. You would use those documents as evidence in your federal case, and move for summary judgment. And I would let the federal court know that you're real concerned about their resources and wasting their court's time. Yeah. So don't mess around in state court and allow the state court judge to interfere with the process. Because if you do this right, you can remove the eviction case right out of state court over to federal court. And then once you get the notice of removal file stamped in federal court and added to your title dispute, and that notice of removal has the two exhibits attached to it, then you can take a file stamp copy of that down to the state court and file a motion to moot their case until your case in the higher court's been settled. Now, if they still don't want to play right, then you can go back to federal court, file a restraining order in federal court, attach a copy of all the things that you attached showing that you removed the case from state court as an exhibit to your restraining order injunction, and have the federal court restrain their asses. That's how you do it. So you want to attach a copy of your jurisdictional challenge to your notice of removal and file that in your state court case. You need to write your federal lawsuit case number on the removal document and tell the clerk to file it in your title dispute. And if they give you any crap, anytime the clerk is giving you crap about filing your stuff, you want to look them dead in the eye and you ask them, well, actually, I would have them get the supervisor so they can see you ain't messing around. And then you look at the supervisor dead in the eye and you ask them, hey, do you have the legal authority to make a determination on my pleading? And you don't say anything. You let them answer. And in most cases, they're going to take your stuff and go file it, because they don't. Only the judge has that if you want to go there. Actually, the judge don't either, because the judge is acting in an administrative hearing and not a judicial hearing, but we don't know that. Well, we know that, and that's why we do things the way we do. Anyway, the title dispute's in a higher court, and when it's settled, the higher court can make the determination on the immediate possession issue. That's how you do it. Now, we're finding the attorneys step down, and new attorney will sneak in and try to pick up the foreclosure from where the last attorney left off. That's what we're finding is going on in the state courts. One of the state court cases, one of the two state court cases that we're using to try out our new state court foreclosure defense lawsuit package. In one of those cases, the new attorney came in after we got it all stopped and started it up again, but didn't tell anybody that there was a notice entry of appearance or anything like that, and went ahead and got a couple of judgments, and now my people are facing the eviction process. So we're working on that. You have to keep track of the docket sheet to make sure what's been filed, or the case history sheet, or the ROA. Different states call it different shit. So you got to keep track every week and a half or 2 weeks or something, especially when you get down to the end and it's to the end of the thing and you're blocking them from evicting you and taking your shit. You need to check that stinking docket sheet, the case history. You need to make sure you know what's filed in the case. You need to make sure you know when somebody else steps in, because they don't send you the paperwork like they're supposed to. They don't mail you a copy of this stuff because you're kicking their ass, and that's why. So we're learning how to spend, we're figuring out that we need to spend a little more time smashing the state court judge who will try to ignore the lack of jurisdiction and just move forward anyway. So that's what we're working on in the state court thing. So the new state court strategies are working pretty well. The two cases that we're using, one, like I just said, we're attacking the judge. Actually, we're attacking the judge in both of the cases now, and we're also attacking the attorney who signed a new notice of appearance. In the case that I'm helping a friend with, the attorney signed the notice of the entry of appearance is not the attorney that's signing the documents in court, and that's a problem because the attorney that's noted on court as the attorney on file is the one that's supposed to be signing the documents and doing all that. But they try to do all this slick crap. So what we did was we structured a new lawsuit for the state court judge and the new attorney who are suing us. Well, he's trying to sue us. He's trying to give his buddy opportunity to get in because we already defaulted him. So we added the judge and the new attorney to the lawsuit. And the lawsuit is for violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act and for a violation of the Foreign Agent Registration Act. Now, we sent them this as a notice of claim. And as soon as they, when we sent it to him as a notice of claim, and the attorney was pissed. He was pissed, and he sent me back like a 3-page thing. When an attorney sends you something that's only 3 pages on it, they're pissed because usually they have a whole bunch of crap to stick in there and have a lot to say. But no, he didn't have too much to say. He couldn't understand why we were attacking the judge and his attorney friend because they're not parties to the case. Actually, they are now because we just added their asses. So there you go. Thank you, and you're welcome. So we didn't add the attorney that's doing all the slick shit to the case. We just added his buddies. And the reason that we did that is we want to make that attorney have to protect their asses. And we want their asses to be getting on his ass for not getting your ass under control. There's a lot of asses in here. Okay, sorry. I got carried away. So once the judge got involved, we filed a notice of claim against the judge and the 9th attorney who entered the entry of appearance for the attorney that was in default. And the attorney was pissed. He called my documents scandalous, impertinent, immaterial, irrelevant, and he's asking the court to make us pay $1,000 for filing any future documents. Yeah, $1,000. He's gonna make us pay $1,000. So my stuff is scandalous, impertinent, irrelevant, and I'm like, holy crap. Oh, he also said that I was abusing the practice of litigation or something. And I'm like, that sounds like all the same shit he's doing. He's trying to steal these people's house. And the attorneys in this case and the attorneys in both state court cases, so you might check your case too. The attorneys never filed the affidavit, okay? Without an affidavit, which is your witness, the court don't have jurisdiction to do shit. Usually what the attorneys do is they file a customary affidavit of knowledge that they checked the record. So you're being sued by the damn record. Oh, yeah. How you going to cross-examine a record? That whole thing is ridiculous, but that's what they usually do. But sometimes they get really sloppy because they're always really sloppy, but they're not used to anybody fighting back and standing up to them or double checking their shit or seeing who the signature is or any of that stuff. So they don't even file the stinking affidavit. So in both cases, there's no affidavit. And it's really funny because in one case, the person, my friend I'm helping, his family member, we emailed the clerk and she just emailed us all together. She emailed the clerk and asked the clerk if the clerk could send us a copy of the docket sheet And so the clerk sent us a copy of the docket sheet. So I'm looking at it. I was like, wait a minute. The third entry should be the affidavit. There's no affidavit. There's a summons and there's a bunch of other shit, but where's the affidavit? So I emailed her back, and I asked my friend she needed to ask the clerk where the affidavit was, because there's no affidavit, and without an affidavit, the court don't have jurisdiction to do anything. Oh wait, the master of equity. So yeah, this is in North Carolina or South Carolina. The master of equity. So what the hell is that? I never heard of a judge called a master of equity. So if you Google it, which is what I tell people to do, when you get something from the court, before you call me all freaking out and needing to breathe in that paper bag, you need to Google it. Google the words, Google anything on that page that you don't understand until you understand everything on the page and why you think they sent you the page. Okay, so the master of equity, if you Google it, you'll find out that the master of equity is not a real judge. The master of equity is an attorney that's been assigned to help the municipal judge with these foreclosure cases. Okay, so that's the problem. That's the problem, because number one, the municipal judge doesn't have any judicial authority to do shit. And I'm sorry, I'm just there. I said it. The municipal judge does not have authority to do anything. They don't have authority to do traffic tickets. They don't have authority to do anything, and I'll tell you why. If you check the manual, the court clerk's manual for your state, for the municipal judge, you'll find out that the municipal court gets its jurisdiction from a city ordinance. Yeah, this is what I used to whoop their ass with when I had the two $10 seatbelt tickets. So the municipal court gets its judicial authority from the city ordinance. What the hell? How can a corporation give itself judicial authority to take people's money and throw them in jail? Are you kidding me right now? Mm-hmm. So the master of equity is lower than the municipal judge because he's a helper for the municipal judge. And foreclosure shouldn't even be in state court or in the master of equity's court. And I'll tell you why. And this is huge, but nobody uses it. Foreclosure statutes are invalid. They're invalid laws. They do not have the three elements necessary to be considered a valid law. Your state constitution mandates that for something to be a valid law, it has to have an enacting clause, which tells everybody from what authority the law came from and who's subject to following it. They have to have a title and they have to have a body. Revised codes and statutes don't have any of that. Ordinances don't have any of that. Rules and policies don't have any of that. So the foreclosure is violating your constitutional rights because your state constitution mandates that in order for something to be a valid law, it has to have those three elements. And the three elements are not there. So there you go. So we attacked the judge with the reconsideration package. The judge came in in the case that I'm helping out with, the judge came in a year and 4 months down the road. My friends had one Zoom hearing right before, well, that's when the judge got involved, when they had the Zoom hearing a year and 4 months down the road, and dismissed our stuff and then opened the door for them. The judge told them that they should do a journal entry, file a journal entry. So I was like, what the hell is a journal entry? No, I didn't call you guys in the group to find out what a journal entry was. I Googled it. That's what y'all should be doing too. And a journal entry is an agreement between the two attorneys. This is how they throw you under the bus. They do a journal entry, the two attorneys agree to it, and they file the journal entry in court, and the judge grants it without actually making a determination on the case. That's some slick shit, ain't it? Well, it don't work when you attack the judge. As soon as the judge throws you under the bus, you have to respond and attack the judge for violating you. Because if you don't, then the judge is going to keep doing that. And it's a lot harder down the road after they've already disrespected you and don't have any respect left for you to get them to straighten up if you don't address it at the gate. And I have a couple of people in the group that are facing that right now, and especially the older people. The older people have a hard time with kicking the judge's ass because they still think that the judge is going to be fair and that you have rights and all of that blah, 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 that most of us know ain't true. So as soon as the judge steps on you to give the attorneys an unfair advantage, you have to address the issue. So we went ahead and addressed the issue. When the judge got involved and did what they did, we were already ready because I already know they couldn't respond to the jurisdiction challenge with an affidavit. They couldn't respond to our challenge of jurisdiction because the homeowner is a citizen of the Republic State of Kansas. They couldn't respond to any of that. And her passport that she filed to prove that her to regain her state citizenship, they sealed it. Yeah, I never seen it sealed. They sealed it, which is ridiculous, but it don't matter because they still have a problem. So we just filed a notice of claim against the judge, because they want to make sure you give them notice before you actually sue them. And so we served the notice of claim, and then the attorney moved to dismiss it. And then he tried to move on and get a summary judgment. But the problem was that not only did we file a notice of claim against the judge, we used the entire reconsideration package. We filed our objection and motion for reconsideration, and then we filed our notice of claim, and then we filed a motion to recuse the judge after we had the notice of claim on the record. And then we called them. They had a hard time. They still haven't found another judge, and this is going on 2 months now. And the attorneys keep filing stuff. So we filed a restraining order to block the attorneys from filing stuff, frivolous pleadings in the case, and they don't have a judge and haven't answered none of our stuff. So we're waiting for them to find a new judge. So we turned up the heat a little bit, and we went ahead and we filed a lawsuit against the judge and the attorney that signed the entry of appearance to help the defaulted attorney get a handle on us. And we just filed that a couple of days ago. So I know the attorney's really mad now. And, this program that we're working on now, we're going to find out how this works. And I'm kind of glad that I'm the one working on one case because I can stay on top of things and make sure that we're smacking them in the face where we need to smack them, when we need to smack them, and getting everything done in a timely manner. And that seems to be an important thing here in this strategy, is to get the stuff done in the steps right away. Don't just sit back. I had one person get in the program and they filed their stuff and they went and sat down. They're just waiting for the judge to rule. Well, they obviously didn't watch the video. They didn't study any of the stuff. And they didn't even respond to the attorneys when the attorneys they didn't reply to the attorneys when the attorneys responded to the document, and they couldn't figure out why they were getting kicked out of court. So you guys have to understand, it's up to you to keep up with this stuff. It's up to you to figure out what needs to be done next. It's up to you to handle your stuff. I'm the coach. You guys are the ones out there getting it done. And you have to make sure you know what the next step is. That's up to you. So we just filed the actual lawsuit against the state court judge and the new attorney who signed the entry of appearance, and to allow the attorney in default to get back in court. Now, I did not add the attorney that's doing all the slick shit to the lawsuit because I want him to have to protect the judge and his buddies in court. And I'm going to keep you guys updated on how that's going. Now, the other thing that we're going to talk about is let me check and see if anybody has any questions. Okay, welcome, Yolanda Walters. Wow, welcome, Yolanda. I haven't seen you here before. So Yolanda asked, do people buy this packet in hopes of fully understanding and knowing what to do and how to stand on this? Yes, Yolanda. People buy this package to learn how to kick their attorneys in the face. And that's what all of my packages are, because that's how I roll here. I don't like attorneys, and I don't have a problem throwing it out there. And if you read my stuff or follow me at any time, you'll see that I don't have no respect for attorneys. And I like helping people kick their ass. So I'm on YouTube. I can say ass, right? We're about to recuse our second judge. So, Yolanda, are you facing a judicial or non-judicial foreclosure? Now, before I close tonight, I'll send you guys a link to a couple of my new offers. I actually put together an offer for people that are facing a credit card lawsuit. So the credit cards shit is done the same way that mortgage are done. When you sign, they process that application through the Federal Reserve and get that electronic credits that they make you pay for or whatever. So they never actually give you any of their money, and it's all fraud. And here's the thing: if you check, if you're into actually any kind of a foreclosure, anytime the attorneys are coming after you, if you check the signature to find out who it is coming after you, you'll find out it's a damn attorney. Okay, it's not the lender, it's not the original creditor, it's not any of those people, because corporations do what is called a charge off. They charge this shit off of their books. They claim it on their taxes and they claim it on the insurance, and that's called a charge off. And once they do that, it's illegal for them to collect on it or to sell it to a third-party debt collector. I don't give a crap what you pull up on the internet and look at, because people don't realize that half that shit that you pull up on the internet, especially the stuff that you pull up in the first few things, that's what attorneys put on there for to send you guys on a wild goose chase and to help steal your hope. So, Yolanda, in a judicial foreclosure, actually in most foreclosures, the biggest mistake that people make is thinking that the stinking lender is the one coming after you, and it's not the lender. Okay, I already know how the way you tell when attorneys are lying is to check and see if their mouth's moving. And actually, I asked my neighbor this one time. How do you tell when attorneys are lying? And she looked at me and she said they're breathing. I was like, damn, remind me not to mess with you. Anyway, so you cannot go in fighting for your property relying on anything that you learn from the attorneys or from the system. Because here's the thing: the attorneys are the ones that structured the system. Yep. The conventional foreclosure defense program was structured by the same attorneys that's trying to steal your shit. So how's that going to work for you when you're in their program trying to defend your stuff that they're trying to steal? Huh? You follow me, right? And that's why I created the non-conventional foreclosure defense program. And I know it sounds complicated, but here's the deal: it's not. Okay, I played football for the University of Kansas back in the 80s, and I boxed for 4 or 5 years. So those are two things that not smart people do. So I have to keep this shit simple. Okay, follow the signatures. Who signed the foreclosure petition against your house? I can tell you right now, it ain't the bank. The bank's signature ain't on shit. Go check. This is the biggest mistake most people make. They have the lender on there and they have all of these other people on there, but the person that's actually suing them ain't on there. Think about that. So your shit's getting kicked out of court for failure to state a claim. And the reason it's getting kicked out of court for failure to state a claim is because you don't have the right person on there. You got the lender, you got all these other people. Now, people don't understand that the illegal mortgage scheme and the fraudulent foreclosure are two entirely different processes orchestrated by two entirely different entities, by different people. So when you go to court and you're going to court trying to sue somebody for foreclosure, and you're suing the lender, you got the wrong person, okay? The lender don't have nothing to do with the foreclosure. The lender don't have shit to do. Well, they started it and they're kind of responsible for it, but when you get right down to it, their signature ain't on nothing. Hell, the lender's signature ain't even on the promissory note, which is the contract that they're saying that you violated. The lender's signature ain't on. Yep, Yolanda Walters, the attorney. The attorney is the signature on your stuff. And here's the thing. When you put that attorney's ass as the number one defendant on your lawsuit and the law firm second, that creates a problem for the attorneys, because the attorneys are not allowed to litigate a case they're a party to. They're not allowed to represent themselves. And here's the thing that most people don't understand. They're not allowed to represent their corporation that they work for pro se in court, because a corporation is considered a fictitious entity and they won't allow you to represent yourself in court. That is not how, but you know what? We make them have to represent themselves in court. We back them into a corner. And this is what I love to do. I have studied their loopholes and procedures and shit for a while now. And I love teaching people how to use their shit against them. So when you jam the attorney up, the attorney has to find outside counsel to help them in court. And we make that almost impossible for them, because once the outside attorneys find out that you're suing them for unlawful foreclosure, acting as a third-party debt collector, the other attorneys, no, thank you, we're out of here. And the reason why they skate is because they're doing the same shit. And they don't want everybody to know. See, most people set up their foreclosure defense or whatever to go before the judge and all that. And that shit is a waste of your time, okay? Going before the judge and wanting the judge to rule on your shit, that's never going to happen. Okay, I've been doing this for a minute and I ain't seen that happen. So what we want to do is make them not want your ass in court. We want to make sure that they don't want to argue. When the arguing starts, their buddy gets to help them. It's simple. I like to keep it simple. So when the arguing starts, the buddy judge gets to help them. So where's that leave you? Screwed, right? Yep. So we don't want to put ourselves in that situation. And Ralph Riley, yes, you're absolutely right. The attorneys are unregistered foreign agents. And that was part of the lawsuit that we put together. And James Galley, GAAP, you're absolutely right. Anybody that understands GAAP is the accounting principles that the bank's supposed to be following. And if you understand GAAP, you will know that once they do a charge off, there's no entries left for any additional income. So where do they put the money that they get for selling your alleged debt to a third-party debt collector? Oh, wait, if I did that or you did that, they would be saying that's what? Insurance fraud, IRS, yeah, but why is it they can do it all day long? It sounds like a double standard, right? So we need to learn how to hold these attorneys accountable and stop worrying about the damn lender, okay? And when people go into court, if you go into court with my stuff, if they call you into court, okay, they're going to want to get you off of the jurisdiction issue. The jurisdiction is the only thing that you should be discussing with these fools. And I'll tell you why. The whole case is fraud. And if you go in arguing the fraud, you're still standing in the fraud. You got fraud at the beginning, you got fraud in the middle, you got fraud in the end. So no matter where you end up at, you're still going to be standing in the stinky fraud. So that's how that goes. You have to make sure that you're arguing the jurisdiction, which is the start of the fraud. And in the conventional foreclosure defense program, that's what they want to do. They want to start right in the middle. Oh, wait, you missed payments. Oh, no, we need to start back over here. Payments for what? I'm looking at the contract. Well, the promissory note that they're saying is a contract It's only signed by one person, the homeowner. It's not signed by anybody else. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm going to tell you a little secret here too. That's going to help you understand this stuff a little bit better. So basically what we're dealing with when you're in a foreclosure case, basically what you're dealing with is real estate deed fraud. Real estate deed fraud. And I'm going to explain to you why. Real estate deed fraud. Every state has a law that mandates that when the property is transferred, the deed transfer must take place. And the law states that the transfer of the deed must be delivered to the new property owner. But that's not what they do. Did they deliver your deed to you? Hell no. What they do is what they call their constructive delivery, and they register your deed in their office. Oh yeah, they make you believe that it's part of the process that you have to do. They make you believe that you have to do that to be able to have a deed that's unclaimed. They make you believe that you have to do all of that. Yeah, and it's total BS. And once you register your deed in their office, that allows the first illegal mortgage lien to be placed against your property. Does anyone know what that first illegal mortgage lien was that was placed against your property? I'm gonna give you a second to see if anybody knows that. See if someone's listened to me say this before. Now, I use this when I get attacked a lot in the Facebook and when I post stuff on Facebook, especially about the property tax thing. And I can tell it's attorneys because they get real pissed and they just come after me like I was trying to steal something from them or like I slapped their mother or something. So the problem is the illegal deed, the first illegal lien that's placed against your property after they register your deed is the mortgage lien. Think about it. Your property was paid for in full when you signed the promissory note. Okay, they took that promissory note, stamped paid to the order of on it, and processed it through the Federal Reserve for the alleged electronic credits. And modern money mechanics actually states that they were granted 9 times the amount put into the demand deposit account. So if that's the case, then your property was actually paid for when you signed that promissory note, when they altered the whole thing and turned it into a security and processed it through the Federal Reserve. Okay, so that was actually the start. And here's the thing, and I have people try to argue with me on this. So like I said, I have to keep the shit simple. So this is what I tell them. Now, if there were several people that own property before a lien, a mortgage lien, or any kind of lien could be put on that property, all of the owners will have to be present to sign that lien, right? Yes. So the fact that the lender accepted your signature on the mortgage lien against your property proves that you own the property free and clear, or they wouldn't have been able to accept your signature on the damn lien. Can I get an amen? So that's pretty much it. That's the real estate deed fraud. Now, if you're sitting down, I'll tell you the kicker. The kicker to all of that shit is that there's no law that forces you to register your deed in their office. Oh, the other thing is, once your deed's registered, it starts the property tax and the zoning, coding, enforcement. All of that shit starts after they register your deed in their office. So I have an eliminated property tax lawsuit package that I structured to help you get control of your deed and the title to your property. Now, basically what that is, help you get control of the deed to your property. Like I said, it's kind of about eliminating the property taxes, but it's more about getting control of the deed to your property. Now think about this. If your deed was not registered in their office and that registration of your deed allowed the lender to put the fake lien against your property, if your deed's not in their office, could the lender put a lien on your property? If the deed's not in their office, could the lender's lien continue against your property? Now we're getting in an interesting neighborhood. Think about it. If you forced them to give you back your freaking property deed by suing their ass, now they, how they gonna, you just tell the lender, hey, I don't remember why I'm paying you guys. Can you send me a copy of the lien against the property or something showing because, oh yeah, we'll do that for you. No problem, Miss Walters. We'll send you and then they get over there and find out that your shit is not in their office no more. I love my job. I don't know if you guys can tell that or not. So that's what's happening. That's what that eliminate property lawsuit package is about. It's about getting control of the deed to your property. And once you get control of the deed to your property, you don't have if you're running Airbnbs or you got neighbors giving you, you don't have to take no shit from none of them, because at the end of the day, the city cannot tell you what to do with your damn private property unless they have an interest in it, and they don't. So Ralph says, all you got to do is fire the trustee and put yourself as a trustee. Well, Ralph, it's not that easy, because the trustee don't have shit to do with anything. If you stop and think about it, trustee don't have shit to do with anything. The trustee don't sign the paperwork for the foreclosure. The trustee don't sign none of the documents in court. The trustee is usually in another state. Yeah. So, no offense, but, and that sounds good in theory, but the trustee don't do anything. You can put yourself as a trustee, but you still don't have control of your of your deed. And you can say you're a trustee and give me my stuff back, and they're going to laugh at you until you get out of their face. The only thing that these corporations give a shit about is when they have to pay money. When you cost them money, it's a problem. Now, in this case, you're not only going to be costing them money, but you're going to be exposing their fraud and putting them on the hook to be liable for the fraud. And they don't want anybody to know about the fraud. I have a couple people actually several people in my group that are attacking this illegal eliminating property tax situation. And one guy, his name is Roger, and he's out of Louisiana, I think. And he's been battling with them. He actually got them to remove his information from their website. Now, we're still trying to get the deed to the property because, that's a good start. But, I've had people telling me that they got their stuff off the tax roll or whatever. And then after a year or something, they put his shit back on there and start charging you again. So they can't do that if they don't have your information. And here's the other thing that people don't realize. I have people in my private Facebook group. It's called Foreclosure Rescue. I have people in my private Facebook group that have all the documentation to show that their mortgage is paid off in full, but they're in foreclosure. Like, how the hell could that be? Well, once they register your property in their office, anybody has access to your information. I watched a deal on TV one time, and they was talking about how people were going to and get information and sign themselves on your deed and take over your freaking property. Yep. And wait, so when these attorneys are the ones that are doing all this fake assignments and shit, all they have to do is go to their office, their buddies, the county recorder's office, and get your property information, go back to their office and add it on to your, fill out a fake assignment, and then file it and say you're late and ain't been paying. They already know that 85% of us Americans cannot afford an attorney, and probably the same percentage don't trust attorneys. So they know that they have an 85% chance of getting away with stealing your shit, and you won't be able to do anything about it. Now, if you do hire an attorney, okay, the attorney's going to throw you under the bus in the end while they're taking your money. And I'm going to tell you why. Actually, I already told you why, but I'm going to tell you why again. The attorney's going to throw you under the bus because they're not going to go against their buddy. Remember? Who signed the foreclosure documents against your house? An attorney. So when you hire an attorney to fight the person who's foreclosing on you, the lender, it's not the lender, it's the attorney. and the attorney you hire is not going to attack the attorney that's foreclosing. Are you kidding me right now? They're all buddies. And you know how that goes. What happens is when you hire this attorney to get your back, that attorney gets a cut of what they steal from you, automatic. Plus what the attorney is able to get out of you while they're pretending to help you. That's how that rolls. So Yolanda says to remove your property tax, actually you're eliminating your property tax by removing the deed from their office. And there's no law that says you have to put your deed in their office. So there shouldn't be a problem with them getting it back. So my eliminated property tax lawsuit package is structured so you have a notice of claim to send them, because there's no reason they should not give you back your property, your deed, when you ask for it, because there's no law that made you put it in there. So there's a little bit of a problem with that. And you want to formally request your deed before you file the lawsuit and pay the $400 to file it in federal court. So that's the way it's set up. The notice of claim is the lawsuit. It's just written just a little bit different in letter form, but it has all of the heat that's in the lawsuit, because I don't play and we ain't trying to go to court. So we're putting everything on the table right now. Hope we can bust the legs and flatten the table down to the floor and steal their hope. Okay, that's what we're talking about. We're gonna steal their hope, and that's how we do it. So the process, does it take long? So Yolanda, it doesn't take long, and I don't know, even if it did, that wouldn't matter if you're stopping them from, because you're not going to have to pay property taxes if you're suing them for charging you property taxes illegally against your private property. So however long it takes, it doesn't matter. What usually happens in the property tax case, and I have some really nice reviews on the property tax lawsuit package on my Google review page. A lady named Sarah, she actually changed her name now, changed the name on her blog, on her review. I don't remember what the name is on it now, but she left a really long review on the property tax. And I called her, we talked all the time. I called her back about 2.5 months after she filed it, and she couldn't talk to me. We talked for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then she said she couldn't discuss it. And she said that she loved me and she really, blah, 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 but I had to go, and she hung up. And I didn't think a whole lot about it. I thought maybe there was somebody in the room or something. But after the second or third time that happened, it dawned on me that these people made some kind of settlement with the city or something. And usually when the attorneys have to settle, when their ass gets ringed and they have to settle, they make you sign a non-disclosure statement. So obviously you're not sharing it with everybody and having everybody up in their face doing the same shit. And I'm all right with that, because for me, the goal is the goal. And I don't care if I have a bunch of things where people saying, oh yeah, this worked, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, I don't even want to work with people unless they see the value in what we're doing and jump in. I don't push my stuff. I don't close people. I had a guy message me today and he well, can I call you? No, dude. Figure out what you want to do. And then when you figure out what you want to do, you can do it and then call me and we can talk about the strategy they're using the stuff. Because right now, calling me before you figure out if my program has value and if you can do it or are interested in doing there's nothing for me to talk about with you, okay? Because I already heard all of the stuff. And if I didn't know all the stuff, I wouldn't be able to put this together to stick it in their face. So I don't have time to listen to all of that stuff. So if you're interested, you could check out the stuff, do your homework, Google my name, look at everything, go to my website, scroll down, check out the questions and answers section, and check out the disclaimer, check out my reviews. I have some of my reviews at the bottom of it. I actually have newer reviews actually on my Google review page, which I'm sure you can find. And do your homework, make your decision. And then if you have questions after you studied the material, then you can call me. And now we're using our time to go forward and kick ass, as opposed to me listening to all of the stuff that you have to say about all the stuff they're doing to you that I already know. So that's how we do that. So Ralph says his buddy's bringing him the paperwork on how to recover, but you paid out property taxes. Well, the DMV fees, that's it's still the same thing, but it's different. I'm not worried about them. I'm more worried about the property tax situation because that's huge. I actually got involved in this property tax issue because I had several families that were facing a tax lien foreclosure. And so for me, I have to start at the gate, not in the middle of the thing at payments. I have to start at the gate. How did we get here? Why are we here? And what are the laws? And when you start at it that way, or what are the laws first, then how we got here, or whatever, then it paints you. And this property tax, I spent quite a bit of time on it. And I'm going to be honest, the reason I spent so much time on it was because it was easy. I got to look in, okay, you got to register your stuff. Okay, who said you had to register your stuff? Well, nobody. Oh, wait, the attorney said you had to do it. So people are paying property taxes because they agree to freaking pay. That's pretty much it. If you don't unagree to pay, then you're agreeing to pay. And you let them put your deed in their office. So until you demand to have it back, they haven't done anything wrong. Well, actually they have, because they're supposed to tell you that you're going to get screwed when they put your deed in the office. They're supposed to tell you that they're going to file the fake mortgage lien against your property and charge you payments for the next 50 years. They're going to tell you everything that they want to tell you to get you to listen to what they got to tell you. So you don't be going in their face telling them what you got to tell them, because they don't want to hear what you got to tell them, especially if you got the right shit. Ralph says this property tax is $49 every 6 months. Well, Ralph, some people are paying way more than that. I had a lady in New York that was paying $9,000 a year, and it was $6,000. It went up $3,000. I was like, holy crap! And people in California are paying high ass shit like that too. I'm like, holy crap! Are you kidding me? So when now? Which offer is this? This is the eliminate property tax lawsuit package that we're talking about right now. And I put this package together. I'm going to send you a link to it here real quick. I put this package together and I added a couple of free things to it. So in this package, you're going to get the magistrate judge reconsideration package for free. And you're also going to get the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit for free in the package. Now, I put that in there for people who are facing the tax lien foreclosures. If they dragged your ass in court already, then the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit and the motion to move just smashed them all in the face. Okay. And if the judge is about to rule, or the judge ruled on you, then the reconsideration package has the documents that you need to jam the judge up, to recuse the judge, file a notice of claim, and all of that. So most people that are using the eliminate property tax lawsuit package don't need all of that, because they're actually attacking it from the beginning. But I had a couple of people that were in foreclosure, so they needed to have that. I have one person in the group that's actually not in default with his taxes or anything. He just wants to get his shit and get them out of his face. So he actually filed a lawsuit. He didn't even waste time with the notice of claim. Actually, he filed the lawsuit and the notice of claim at the same time. I told him that's what I would do, because now they can't complain that they didn't get it. Oh, Lion Queen said they're charging her double taxes on her property, saying it's a double lot. Yeah, well, they are going to do what they can get away with, and it's time to put an end to that. So you guys can see that my eliminate property tax lawsuit package is been cleaning house. I had an investor invest in it last week, and he actually reviewed it, and he came back and told me that that it was smooth. He said the homework, everything was there. He was really impressed. So I put a lot of work in that package because it's important. It's something that everybody can use. Because think about it, you get them out of your own. What can you do with that money that you saved? And right now, part of the problem that we're facing right now is a lot of people used that property tax money to take care of their family during the shutdown and the pandemic. And now they're wondering what the hell they're going to do. And in my opinion, I don't think this pandemic shit was accidental. I think they did this shit to us on purpose and for the purpose of stealing our stuff and doing what they're going to be doing when the moratorium is lifted. And that's going to be a problem because a lot of people are sitting on their ass right now waiting. No offense, because I know some people are broke or whatever, but a lot of people are sitting on their ass right now waiting because of the moratorium. But they don't realize that the moratorium does not stop the court process. It only stops the eviction process if it's a federal loan, a HUD loan, or something like that. That's my opinion on that. So people are getting this stuff from the court, but they're not doing shit with it because they think everything is stopped. And I've had 4 or 5 people that one lady has a friend that's attorney. I have a couple people that work in the title office, a couple people work in the court in different states, and they all told me, and these are people from different states, they all told me that during the shutdown, the attorneys were still going to work every day and going into the court. Everybody else was blocked, but the attorneys were still going to work and still going in the court doing everything. I wonder what they're doing. They're lining everything up. Yep. So someone said Biden ordered them to pay taxes on. Yeah, I told people that they were going to be doing that. I didn't get none of that stimulus shit because I don't sign my name on none of their stuff. When you sign your name on their shit and you get the benefits, they're going to screw you end to end. Because my grandma taught me something a long time ago. She told me, boy, there ain't no free lunch. As a 10-year-old kid, I wonder what the hell's that got to do with anything. I'm hoping I don't have to pay for lunch. I'm only 10, you know. Yeah, I know. I told everybody that was going to happen. I told my mother-in-law too, and nobody believes me. I don't pay taxes because I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm a citizen of the Republic State of Arizona, where I was born. And I had this conversation with a lady yesterday. Nobody can be a U.S. citizen because nobody can be born in a fictitious entity. Nobody can be born in a fake corporation. You have to be a citizen of the state where you were born. And this U.S. citizen crap is ridiculous. And that's how they throw people under the bus. They think you're a U.S. citizen. Oh, I'm a U.S. citizen. No, you're not a U.S. citizen because the U.S. is the federal government, the corporation. And if you can look it up, when they say U.S. citizen, they're referring to a fake corporation. And that's why your driver's license has all capital letters on it, because you're considered a fake corporation. Now, when you get your passport, when you fill out your passport and reclaim your state citizenship, they send you your passport is not in all capital letters. And when you get that passport, that you're automatically put on the do not detain list. Yep. And the court does not have statutory jurisdiction over you without an injured party. Now, why is that so important? Remember, in the beginning, I told you they didn't have an affidavit. They don't have an injured party because the third-party debt collector collecting it don't have any consideration into shit. And usually they go with this shit that they fill out, affidavit saying the affidavit of that they reviewed the record, which is ridiculous because you can't cross-examine the record. So when now says, which office do we ask for our mortgage deed back? No. When now? You got to do your homework. You're not asking for them. You're in which office? You're gonna have to figure that out. Whatever office is holding your deed. Some places it's the county recorder's office. Some places tax assessor. Different states call it different things. So you're going to have to go to, you can go to my website or click on that link and take a look at the information in it. Now, if you get your package, you're going to figure out where you need to do and what you need to do. And there's also a video that I can share with you guys that instructional video for how to fill out the property tax package, and that'd probably be a good thing to share with you right now. So I'm going to stick that right over here so you guys can take a look at it. That's my YouTube video. So Yolanda wants, how do you get another passport? Yolanda, you'll have to, I don't know how, you'll have to go to the YouTube, because this reclaiming your state citizenship is not something I'm an expert in. I've done it, so I know a little bit about it, but I don't preach what I'm not an expert in. So I'm going to send you to YouTube, and you need to go to YouTube and search for how to get on the do not detain list video by Youssef, I think. And then that video kind of walks you through it. I have a PDF with the instructions. It has a little more instruction than the video gives you, but that's how you do that. So you're going to do you have to do your homework on that. So do you need to get another passport? I'm going to tell you, you need to do your homework. Okay. Got to do your homework. And you guys got to remember, my job is to coach, and it's not to make it easy for you. So I know people get pissed when I tell them that, but that's the deal. Because if I made it easy for you, you won't learn. And if you don't learn, then you won't understand that you have to know shit, and you have to be able to talk this shit when you go to file your stuff to the clerk, or when the attorney calls you, or when you're in a stupid ass Zoom meeting. You have to stay focused on what's in the documents and act like you know and understand it and believe it. If you don't, they will assume that you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and they'll keep disrespecting you. So that's how that goes. I want to show you guys a couple of other offers that I have, just in case anybody is in need. Now, the last thing I want to talk about too, real quick, while I'm showing these offers, is the online course. I put together a foreclosure defense online course for property owners who have tenants who are facing foreclosure and can't pay the rent. So now your shit is in foreclosure. So I put together this online course to help people with that. And this course helps you be able to defend your properties at different stages of the process. And this online course is the bomb. If you wanted to become a paralegal and do what I do, helping people, this online course would help you do that, because this course has upgraded documents that are totally the bomb, and you have access to everything that you need. You have access to videos, to coaching, all of the documents that you would need from A to Z. And we have a special foreclosure Facebook page group that just for the online course. And you can catch me in the group. Actually, when you message me, I have like 3 or 4 different groups now. I have a group for the lawsuit packages and the property tax stuff. And then I have another group for the online course. And then I have another group, but we'll talk about that group later. Okay, when now? What office do you get your mortgage deed from? You're going to have to figure that out. You're going to have to figure out where your mortgage deed is and what office it's in. That's up to you to figure out, okay? It's usually in the county recorder's office or the tax assessor's office or whatever your state call it. Different state call it different things. So I don't even go there. You have to do the homework on that. When you get the package, it'll tell you what you need to do. And then you got to figure out where your stuff is, and because each state is different. Well, Ralph, it's not always called the tax assessor's office. Sometimes it's called the county recorder's office or the courthouse. It depends. And that's why I don't give anybody a straight answer. Because when you give them a straight answer, they'll be looking for the tax assessor's office. And if they can't find it, they're going to think we're crazy. And they're not going to switch over and figure out. You see where I'm going with this? So when now, you're going to have to figure that out. And so that is the group. The last link I just gave you was for online course. Oh, maybe it's that one. And I think I have one or two more. Now, the non-judicial foreclosure, I put together a special offer for that. So if you're facing non-judicial foreclosure, this is the bomb. And this has the extra documents that I was talking about that's also in the eliminate property tax package. It has the master judge reconsideration package, and it has the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. Now, the reason I add those two packages to all of my packages is because what we're finding is that the judge has helped these attorneys get past my stuff. So I put this package in there to jump in the judge's face and put some fire underneath the judge. And obviously, the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit will blow up any case in state court. So if they've already dragged you in court, then you can use that jurisdictional challenge to jam in their face while you get your lawsuit filed in federal court to take control. Well, Ralph, not every state is the same as what you're saying. So I like to leave it a little general for people so they can go figure it out on their own. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the stuff's in the county recorder's office. Sometimes the stuff's in the tax assessor's office. Sometimes stuff is just in the county court records area. It's different. So look, Ralph, I'm the coach here, so I'm going to call it the way I'm calling it. If you got a problem with that, then you can do whatever you want to do. But that's the way I'm calling it. I want to leave it open so people can figure it out. Okay. I don't like to tell people stuff. I like to give you the information and let you go figure it out. Because when you figure it out, you understand it better. And when you understand it better, then you know how to use it. Now, the last one I want to share with you guys is a lot of times, a lot of people use their credit card to help them through this pandemic crap. And now they're kind of starting to wonder how they're going to deal with that when the credit card people show up and start beating on the door or trying to garnish their wages or attacking their bank account. So remember, I told you guys, I like to help you kick attorneys' butts. And that's how we roll. So I put this package together for anybody facing a credit card lawsuit. And I actually put this package together for family members, for very close family members. And it worked great. And that's pretty much undefeated. So that's all I got tonight, guys. I'm going to leave my email address here. When in courts one. When in courts one at gmail.com. So if you have any questions about anything that we talked about tonight, you guys can send me an email if you want to. But remember that I really don't like to talk to people on the phone until they figure out what they're going to do. And I want to have that phone conversation be the strategy of going forward and answering questions they don't understand about the package. That way we're using both of our times in the most efficient manner. So that's how we roll with that. And I want to thank you guys for your time. And I think what I'm going to do tonight for all of you guys that are watching, it seems like the property tax package is something that a lot of people is interested in. So I'm going to put the property tax lawsuit package on special tonight. Yeah, I'm going to reduce the price of it, but I'm not going to do it until 12, from 12 to 2. From 12 midnight tonight till 2 a.m., I'm going to lower the price on the property tax lawsuit package. And if you're interested in it, you're going to have to check it at that time to see how much it is, because I'm not going to tell you right now, because I want people who are really, really motivated to jump in this program and roll. So that's how I'm going to do that. I got to make a sticky note so I don't forget. So if you missed the sale, I don't want to hear anybody crying about it tomorrow. From 12 to 2 a.m. Okay, I got it on a sticky note. So I'm going to do that, and I may put it on a little bit sooner. When I get done with this and get everything straightened up and all my lights and stuff put away, then I may go ahead and list it. But 2 o'clock, 2 a.m., I'm going to take it off. And the reason I'm doing this too, because I'm going to just change on the link that I sent you. I'm going to change the price on that link. And then I'm going to change it back at 2 a.m. That way, all the other people that are watching, that are shopping, maybe who are asleep now, and they won't be getting this deal unless they're listening to me for 76 minutes, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. So Lion Queen, this is all overwhelming. And well, dude, so this is what I tell people when you get in my program, okay? Don't worry about feeling lost. What you need to do is just spend the time and learn and go forward. Don't look back. I have people telling me, oh, well, my attorney this. Oh, well, dude, I didn't want to hear what your stinking attorney said or did, because your attorney was screwing you over, okay? If you look back, you know what it says in the Bible. If you look back, you're going to turn into that pillar of salt. So you need to jump in the boat and start rowing and keep looking forward, okay? That's all you need to do, because I'll tell you right now, I don't play. And if you learn what's in the documents, I'm going to save you a ton of time, okay? I'm going to save you a ton of time in studying if you remember what's in the documents. So don't worry about it being overwhelming. What you have to do is you have to block out all of the other shit that you learned before that you thought you knew, okay? Because most of it was BS, and you have to be open to learning some new stuff. And this is what I tell people too. I tell people, when you learn the new stuff, you need to make sure that it makes sense, okay? Because if it freaking don't make sense, it's stupid. And most of the stuff attorneys have you doing in foreclosure or whatever, or in anything that attorneys have you doing, is stupid and don't make any damn sense. So if someone's suing you, seems to me the best thing you do, instead of answering to them and kissing their ass, seems to me the best thing to do is sue their ass back in a higher court for some serious stuff that caused the problems that you have for the reason they're suing you. Yeah. That's what the non-conventional foreclosure defense is, okay? We don't defend what they're saying. We go after them for causing a problem that you're dealing with right now. That's how we do it. So if you guys are interested in this program, I'm going to post it, knock it down a little bit so people can afford it. And I'm not sure how much, but I will make it a deal. Now, I would like you guys to leave me a review. I would like you to leave me a review after you review the documents. Just pretty much stating that the documents were fire, or you found value in them, or whatever, and then you'll do a follow-up on the progress, unless they make you sign a non-disclosure statement, which is fine. And this is the reason why I like to get the review up front if the documents are valuable, okay? I'm not asking you to tell anybody that anything worked. What I'm asking you to do is let them know what you thought about the program and about the documents that I put together and about my coaching and all of that. That's what I'm asking, because it's not fair to make me wait till it's all over when we know that it ain't gonna be the judge ruling and giving you everything. It's gonna be them trying to get you out of their face, because you ain't gonna be playing if you go to the table with my stuff. So I'm going to get off here so I can get this stuff done. And you guys, if you invest in one of the packages tonight, I'm going to adjust the price on the property tax. If you invest in it, I hope you leave me a review on it. That's all I'm asking from you. If you don't leave me a review, when you call me, I'm going to say, who is this? Okay, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am. Okay, anyway. Thanks, guys. Good night.